Well, former President Donald Trump addressed supporters for the first time this weekend since two cases in New York put a spotlight on some of his legal troubles. Washington correspondent Jackie DeFusco joins us live this morning from our nation's capital. Jackie, good morning. The former president's campaign rally that he held yesterday comes less than a week away from South Carolina's Republican primary.
That's right, Christina. And former President Trump maintains a dominant lead right now over former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley in her home state. Perhaps part of the reason why over the weekend we saw Trump focus on wooing swing voters in the state of Michigan and selling sneakers in Pennsylvania. A White House run, and now a new sneaker line from former President Donald Trump.
You're sneakerheads, right?
The so-called Never Surrender high tops, launching after two legal setbacks out of New York State. On Thursday, a March 25th trial date was set in a case alleging Trump falsified business records to cover up payments to porn actor Stormy Daniels. In a separate case on Friday, a judge found Trump exaggerated his wealth for years and deceived banks. The former president now ordered to pay $355 million in penalties, but he's expected to appeal.
This is merely an election interference ploy by a crazed lunatic attorney general.
Trump making his case to swing voters in Michigan this weekend as his lone opponent for the Republican presidential nomination hones in on her home state.
It's a great day in South Carolina.
Ahead of South Carolina's GOP primary, the state's former governor Nikki Haley lags behind Trump by 22 points in one new poll. Speaking to voters there on Saturday, Haley said that Trump's legal troubles are distracting from the issues impacting everyday Americans.
He just talked about himself. And we can't continue to go in that direction.
And amid pressure to step aside, Haley has said that she will stay in this race as long as she's able to pick up steam in South Carolina compared to her previous primary losses in the Iowa caucus and the New Hampshire primary. South Carolina's Republican primary is coming up fast on Saturday, February 24th. Christina?
All right, so Jackie, let's talk about what we learned this last week, specifically about the timing of former President Trump's criminal trials. We know he faces dozens of charges.
Yeah, Christina, that's right. And it does seem that voters will have to wait a while to see how those cases shake out. As you said, Trump is facing 91 charges across 4 separate criminal indictments, and that is making for a very tangled legal calendar. We did learn in the last couple of days that the first of those cases to go to trial will be that hush money case out of New York State. Jury selection now set to start on March 25th. Previously, the federal election interference case was supposed to start earlier in the month of March, and that was going to be the first to go. But now that case is on hold as the courts are weighing Trump's claim that he should be immune from prosecution for actions that he took in his official capacity as president. 2 lower courts have already rejected that claim, but right now we're waiting to see if the Supreme Court will take on that question. Back to you, Christina.
All right, a lot going on. Jackie DeFusco live in Washington for us this morning. Jackie, thank you.